And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! We have an awesome show tonight because we have an awesome guest tonight, a return guest, one that I'm very excited to have on here. This indie author and booktuber and social media influencer is one of my favorite people, one of my bestest beasties that I made early on when I started this bookish journey. And we talk a lot, and they're fantastic. They are the author of this BEA beautiful book right here, and a novella that's set to come out that we're going to talk about tonight. I am talking about someone that you all love. She's awesome. She's BA. And she just supports and is so kind to so many people. I'm talking about the one and only Molly Macabre. Let me get to my thing before I bring her on. There it is.
Hi, friends. Wow, what an intro.
I know. It's all true. It's all true. Here we go. I agree with Tim. He says, "All hail Queen Molly." There we go.
I know, look at all these friends in here.
I know. We got
Everybody's here.
let's see. Let's start at the top. We got Josh was the first one in here.
Hi,
What's up,
Josh.
Josh? From Already Overbooked. Mark from the Book Lounge. What's up, Mark? Trinity. We won't tell anybody. Let's see. Who else do we got in here? We've got scroll. Adam Bassett is here. Another awesome
Hi,
indie
Adam.
author. We got Senna's here. What's up, Senna?
Oh, Senna.
Good to see you.
So glad you made it.
Me too. She said she couldn't make it. CJ is here. What's up, CJ? Switzer, awesome indie author. And Jay Bryden, who I just had on last week. Awesome guy. And Thomas Howard Riley is here, but he's not here.
He's not. He's probably also supposed to be writing.
Yeah, all these writers, I tell you. So thank you, everybody that said hello. Thank you, everyone in the chat who has not said anything yet. And if you don't want to, that's okay. We just like to have you here hanging out. If you're watching this on replay, we appreciate you as well. And before we get started, Molly's website, YouTube channel, books, novella, everything is in the description down below. So go check it out and support this wonderful friend of ours. Here we go. That is, I know. That's pretty sharp Dark Veil Society shirt you have there.
Hold on, I gotta move. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Reppin'. I almost didn't rep because I'm always freezing, and I had a hoodie on, and I was like, you know what? I'll be cold for the Dark Veil Society.
That's a dedication right there. You need to get yourself a hoodie with the Dark Veil Society logo on it.
I know.
That's what we.
It's funny because we have all these ideas and we want to do all these things, and then it'll be quiet for a while in our chat because we're all writing, and so we have things there, but we're also working on so many projects, so it makes it difficult.
It's true. There you go. Tim says sacrifice. That's why Molly's in charge. That's right. Willing to make the big sacrifices for the group. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So for anyone who has not been lucky enough to get to know you at all, why don't you tell us a little bit about the things that you do and the books that you write?
So I'm Molly. I started out writing Dark Bloom. That's my debut. It's a post-apocalyptic horror romance, or a rom-zom, or a zombance, if you will. My book that's about to come out this weekend is a novella. It's a Haunted Woods novella, kind of working in the same idea of strangers meeting, how they interact in these kinds of situations.
Very nice. Very nice. And I actually just finished your novella, and it was very good. Very, very good. I really like the psychological stuff. Really messed with your characters' minds and mine. And it was a one sitting read, guys. You need to check it out. It's very, very good. Let me see. Lucas Clay is here. Do you know what HBIC means?
How about I care? I don't know.
I care. I like it. Lucas, we're apparently not as cool as you, so just let us know what it means. But yes, Dark Bloom. I agree with what Mark at the Book Lounge said there. There's a curse word in that comment, though. This is a family show, Mark.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Just kidding. I'll still show it. It is fantastic. If you haven't read it, what in the boop are you waiting for? Well, that's not the right book. Right. All right, so here is Dark Bloom. Look at that beautiful cover. Gorgeous. All right, so real quick before we talk about your new book, let's talk about Dark Bloom and just talk to people about this cover that so many people have talked about being great. It's a showstopper, a scroll stopper, if you will. Tell us about how you came up with this cover and how the process went for you.
To be honest, I talked to my cover artist and I was like, hey, this is what my book's about. These are the vibes, and he pretty much did everything. He did send me 2 samples that had people on the front, and they were good, and I don't hate covers with people on the front. But what happened was I was like, this makes it look a little YA.
Mm.
And if you've read Dark Bloom, it's definitely not YA.
No.
I just was afraid that somebody would jump in just thinking, oh, this, or like middle grade or whatever. I didn't want, it to get in the wrong hands. So I was like, you know what, can we just ixnay the people? Let's do an object-based cover. And he came up with that. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Oh, it looks so good. Very well done. All right, so do you have a copy of what comes next so we can see that awesome cover? I love it. I love it. Look at that, guys. It's so cool. And you know what's cool is after you read it, that cover fits even more. You'll be like, oh, because you look at it and you think it's awesome, looks very horror vibes, but then you read it and the psychological stuff, it's like, oh yeah, this cover definitely makes sense. So what about that cover? How did your process go for that one?
So I actually so this was a different cover artist. Her name's Jelena Gajic. She's incredible. If you've seen The Clatterman by Janelle Shiki, she did The Clatterman. And then she did mine. And then she did Eamon's The Veil, a redo of the cover.
Nice. Oh, that covers something else too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually came to her with a full concept. And I was like, it doesn't have to be this. This is just what I've created. I'm not super visually artistic, but these are I gave her the synopsis. I gave her the vibes. She came back to me with like 5 different covers, and this one was one of them, a little bit different. We tweaked it a little bit, but I saw that and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. She's like, well, I can do the one you wanted. And I was like, no, actually, I'm totally sold on this. I really love it. Everything about it is perfect. So she does great work. I was like, can I just have all 5 on the, no, but it was so hard to choose. And, DBS is great because I'll send them things and be like, which one do you guys like? And yeah, so she just does fantastic work.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you think for Dark Bloom, the sequel, who are you working with for the cover?
So I am working with the artist who did the original cover for Dark Bloom. That's been a slower process just in general overall between my cover artist and me. I just working through all that. I believe that Friday he's going to be sending me some updates. He sent me a draft a while ago, but I just wasn't sold on it, and so I asked for some changes. So he's gonna be sending me some concepts, or like a first draft this Friday. So I'm super excited to see that.
Okay. That's exciting. Cool. And then how is writing the sequel going? Is that your next thing you're working on getting out?
So Without a Whisper, which is the name of my sequel, I've been sitting on a full manuscript for a while now. It's done. I have dev edits completed. My editor finished those months ago. I went through and applied all the dev edits. I just finished another read through after going through all those edits. And now I am just sitting on it because it's going to go back to my editor for proofreading. It's kind of my thing. I decided, at least with big projects. I didn't do
Mm-hmm.
this with what comes before, just because I figured 19,000 words, I could probably manage that with just one time of him going through it.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, what I did with Dark Bloom is I rushed it. And I'm just going to be really honest with you. He sent me my completed, he edited everything. And I just went through and zipped through those edits. And I was like, cool, done. And then I got my proof copy. And I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I got my proof copy. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should sit and read it like an actual book, see if I pick up on anything. And what had happened was, like, I had applied his edits, so like I had taken something out and then it made like the sentence before, the sentence after not make sense, some things like that. So luckily I caught all of this before it published, but it was a lesson learned, as we all do in the indie world.
Yeah.
So he's going to go through it. I basically want his eyes and his edits to be the last thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to touch it and screw it up more.
Yeah.
So he's going to go through it. I anticipate that to happen in about 2 months ish. I'm hoping and thinking that it will be out into the world December time. So I'm very
Okay.
excited. It's, man, when I go through it, I'm like, I wrote this. This is crazy. So it's really
That's
cool.
exciting.
I love it.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, I have some questions about that, but before I do, JC and Byrne is
Hold
here.
on
What's
for
up,
a
Joe?
minute. I am actually going to switch over to my headset because I have lost my audio. Give me 1 second.
No,
Sorry.
it happens. Whoa, look at those sick earrings, guys. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. There we go. See, I told you my he was like, yeah, we don't remember what this is. So
Oh man. Well, I just commented how sweet those earrings were.
now I'm covering them up. No, they're not cool.
I was just saying that JC and Byrne is here. So
Hi,
Joe,
JC
what's
Humbert.
up?
Wistful Ascending. If you guys haven't read that, so freaking good.
It is, and if you haven't seen it, you're gonna want to read it when you see that. Boom! Look at that.
Oh gosh, yes.
That's pretty covers. He does amazing work, and the books on the inside is just as good. All right. So you were talking about how you feel like the book, like you're surprised at how good it is and the writing and everything. So you feel like you're falling into that groove of, most authors say every book you get better and learn and all that stuff. So you feel like it was like that for you with the second book?
It was. I feel like I learn a lot from just writing. I learn a lot from my editor because he doesn't sit and go through, we don't have the space for him to sit and go through long drawn out explanations of why he's, ixnaying what he's ixnaying or asking for the changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I pick up on, okay, he keeps taking these things out or he keeps telling me to add these things in. So I learn that way. I learn a lot that way. So yeah, I feel like I've definitely improved as a writer with that book. What I'm doing now, I am writing a story in first person present tense from the point of view of a 12-year-old.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I am not nailing this at all. In fact, I plan on sending my editor like one chapter just to be like, am I doing this right? Like, what am I doing? Yeah, exactly. So it's just it's wild. I like a challenge, though. I don't like writing the same things in the same tense, in the same point of view. So it's a challenge, and that's what I like about writing, is that you can switch it up. You can do something different.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think you're going to do good with that. I mean, if anyone saw your infamous short, where you spoke like a, that's a nice mug you got there, by the way.
Thank you. Isn't it great? Oh, hold on. I have no idea. There we go.
Wait, hold on. That is a nice mug. You can find these on the Bearded Book Piece shop. No,
get him. No, he's not kidding. Buy them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
10.
for real. They're very nicely made. So let me see. I think it was Adam. No, not Adam. It was Mark. Asked how long you were working on your novella. What comes before? So when did you start that? And then it's coming out next week, right? Or no? Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday this week. Yeah, this weekend.
I'm just gonna be real honest. I like this novel or this novella just like came out and like I just wrote it in a couple of months.
That's awesome.
I got really stuck on the idea, and then it was just like every chance I had, I was just writing. I mean, it's not very long. It's like 19,000 words. I think it's like I want to say it's 124 pages, but I think that's also including the fact that I put the prologue to Without a Whisper in the back of the novella. So fans of Dark Bloom can get a glimpse of that. And yeah, I got obsessed with it for a while. It just came so it was fun to do because this Without a Whisper process has been so long.
Oh yeah.
It was fun to like get something in there in between, remind the world that I'm still here. You know, Molly still exists and writes things.
She didn't disappear. Yep. That's true. That probably felt good to just knock something out like that. That's pretty awesome. We got another one of our beasties here, Mr. Timothy Wolf. Mute
My
himself.
best friend and not ZB Steele's best friend.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. If ZB hears about this, he's going to be shook. You're going to message him after this. Make sure he knows.
My best friend was there.
Oh, man. Let's see. Adam had a question. He said, totally agree about needing to change things up. Curious what the driving force behind the novella was. Like, what was the question, theme, reason for it? Like, what inspired you to write it?
So at first I was thinking I had this idea of like two people trapped in a place, like a house. And I thought about like two strangers, like how they would come upon each other in a house and work their way through whatever was going on. And initially I thought bad guys, like humans. But I was like, you know, after Dark Bloom and Without a Whisper, I'm kind of tired of writing bad guys right now. So I thought, well, maybe let's make it paranormal, like a haunted house. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then as things popped up in my head of like, you know, how to terrorize these characters, I was like, I need more room. Like this, I'm not gonna be able to do this within the space of a house or, you know, a building. So I'm like, man, where can I set this at? And I love the woods and the trees, and I love, but you know, not like big beautiful elms, like creepy gnarled twisted trees. And I just love it. It can be a sunny day and you just look into the woods and it's just dark and, you know, mysterious. So I was like, of course it's got to be in the woods. It started, I won't say anything, but it started with the ending. The story started with the end, and I was like, that would be crazy cool. And then let's work backwards from the beginning. How do we get to the end? So most of what I write is usually pretty character driven. I usually just have characters and I'm like, okay, I don't know what they're going to do, but let's sit and write and they'll talk and do stuff.
Yeah.
But this one was a little different. So hopefully it hit the mark for that.
It did. It's got quite a mind F twist, which was awesome. I did not see coming. So if you like books like that, this is definitely going to be your book, guys. You should check it out. Let's see. Tim said everyone's writing whisper books. Of course, he's
we're Whisper Bros.
Yes, his novella with Mute. If you've not read that, definitely go check that out.
Yes, fantastic. So witty and snarky and just like that's a book I sat and I read through, I listened to the audiobook of that twice, and then I read the novella in physical form, but because I was about to get into the second one, and I took my highlighter because, you know, Tim's just got so many great, you know, phrases in there, and it's like mostly yellow the whole book. So
oh yeah. That's true. It is good. It's good. All right, so Dylan Morris is here, another great YouTube channel. What's up, Dylan? Thanks for being here, buddy. All right, so some people that find this, you've been on here before, but some people that look you up might just find this one. So in a minute, I'm just gonna have you retell us your story a little bit, your journey into publishing and how you decided to write a book. But before we do that, I got some dad jokes for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
I got some good ones. I wrote down some special just for this occasion that I heard, and I'm like, ooh, I got to save those for when Molly comes on. All right. Let's see. Okay, I actually have 3. Not just 2 this time. 3. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, they're really bad. Here we go. Okay. Someone threw a can of soda at me today, but I'm all right. It was a soft drink.
That's so dumb.
All right. I went to the store the other day, and my wife told me to pick up 6 cans of Sprite, but I forgot and picked 7 up. All right, this is the best one. This is the best one. All right. I picked those 2 because I was going to tell you a time traveling joke, but you didn't like it. Come on, that's good stuff right there.
Man.
Come on.
Do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke?
No.
When it becomes apparent.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Hold on. I got to make use of my my clapping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh man. And yes, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. And Thomas, I know you're laughing. I can feel it, my friend. All right, so just walk us through. I know you've done this a million times now, but just walk us through your journey into becoming a. Ooh, no groans tonight from Tiffany K. You actually liked all 3?
Wow.
You're getting better at this. All right, so walk us through your journey to becoming a published author. It's I think that you are a very inspiring person, my friend, because of what you've done, but what you continue to do, because you found success and community, but you just keep building it and helping others. And I think that's why so many people are here already, and so many people are rooting for you. So just tell us all about your story once more.
Okay. So I guess the turning point for me as far as like starting to write was, it's going to sound cliche, I was listening to It by Stephen King on audio, and it had been quite a while since I'd listened or read a Stephen King book, and I was listening. It was fantastic, and I was like, this is going to sound I in no way thought that I could achieve what's like anywhere close to what Stephen King has, but I was listening to his prose and I was like, like it's not rocket science. He's telling a story. He's just doing it very well. Maybe I could tell a story. I've always loved writing. I started journaling when I was in like 5th grade. I literally kept journals until I was like 20 something. I had like 20 of them. I would write short stories and poems in them. Poetry is my thing. That's why you get some like really dramatic prose in all of my stories. Like my editor, sometimes he's like, sometimes he's like, no, this doesn't work. And sometimes like, actually, you made this work here. But that's why I'm just so dramatic. I love poetry. I like writing it. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I could write a story. And I came home and I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, why don't you write a book or something? And I was like, I don't know what I'd write about. And so the characters that have been living in my head for, since I was like 14 were like, hello, we're right here. I will, that's a whole other story. I won't get into that right now. But so yeah, I just started writing. I just sat, I remember sitting on my lunch break in my car and I opened Google Docs on my phone and I wrote like the first couple paragraphs, and then I decided this sucks. I'm never doing this again on my phone. So I I would come home every night after working like 10 or 12 hours, sit at my computer, usually had 2 kids sleeping in my lap, and I just started writing, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was just like, yeah, I'm just writing this story. And, I assumed that publishing a book, you had to like be somebody already, you had to, know somebody, whatever. Well, then my research, E.L. Lyons, I was like, oh, wow, she does this self-publishing thing. So I just kind of looked, I stalked her actually on Twitter. Well, at first I was like, where does she hang out? How does she sell books? What does she do? So I was like, she's not on Facebook. She's not here. So I found her on Twitter. I added her. I added everyone she knew, which was really cool because, people like Bob Blue Smoke Fire, like they just took me in and they were just like, yeah, cool, like here's this person, and they were so supportive. So really I just wouldn't be here without the indie community, the writing community. They're all so fantastic. They're just so willing to be like, yes, come join our ranks, come be you're our family now. So I learned a lot from her, but just from networking with her, I found my own people. She's fantasy. It was her book was the first indie book I read, and it it made me have horrible imposter syndrome. I was like, how am I supposed to? Like I wanted to cover my face. I was like, I don't know, I don't write. Her book is beautifully written. It's fun. It's fantastic. Just her grammar's on point. She's a great person to follow too. Like she's always given writing advice, grammar advice. She's just incredible person. So yeah, I basically just collected all the info I could find from the writing community, and then I did the dang thing. Went through Amazon and published my book. Can't figure out Ingram, so I'm not there.
I've heard that from other people. They need to change something, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't try super hard. I just but yeah, we were talking about that on X the other day. A bunch of people were talking about how, their book failed for this and they couldn't get in because of that. And I was like, yep, that's my story. And I just gave up. Amazon just makes it so easy. And I know people have their issues with that. But as someone who is working, 10-hour days, 40 hours a week, raising kids, I like an easy platform. I like a system that's tailored to me. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's a very good story, and people agree with you here. So like Trinity says, can't say enough good things about the writing community. And Jay, now I'm also humming that in my head. Thanks for that. John from Talking Stories in here. He said, King is the goods. He is the goods. Thanks for being here, John. And Senna says you are her idol because she is also aspiring author who writes some very good stuff. So look out for when she releases her stuff.
Yes, I can't wait.
I know, me neither. Let's see. We got the fantasy and sci-fi fanatic is here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. So what do you feel like was different with publishing the novella? Obviously it was different because with the novella, the cool thing is you can try different things out. You don't have to worry as much about the deep, editing and all that stuff as much. You still edit it, but having like done it before, like publishing something, having your community in place, do you feel like that all made it just a more enjoyable process with a little less stress than maybe the first time around?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely knew what I was doing as far as uploading everything into Amazon. Something I did differently this time was I did ARC readers. With Dark Bloom, I just threw it out into the world and was like, here you go. And ARC readers, having that was really cool. I didn't really know what to expect from that. But it made me feel better about not hiring my editor twice, because ARC readers would come to me and be like, hey, just so you know. And I love the messages because they're just like I would send, and they're so nervous. And I'm like, no, thank you so much. But it's like, I noticed this teensy little thing on this page. It's no big deal. And I'm like, no, please send that because I need that. So that was really cool. What I also didn't expect was that some people who hadn't read Dark Bloom, that had just seen, what comes before on another page, started reading Dark Bloom. Hopefully it's not too vastly different for them. But so I didn't really expect that, or vice versa. People that love Dark Bloom signed up to read what comes before because they enjoyed it. So that has been really cool. I loved seeing the feedback and just people interested. Like I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if people were like, oh, it's not connected to Dark Bloom, we hate it, or like I just didn't know what to expect. So ARC readers, that was really cool. Not going to be doing the same type of system. I'm going to have ARC readers for Without a Whisper, but I'm going to be a little bit more selective, not because I'm being stingy, but because it's a sequel. First of all, I don't want just anybody signing up and then being like, yeah, we have no idea what's going on. But just also to keep myself, my stress levels low. I don't want to send it out to a bunch of people and then
Yeah.
have to manage that too. So
Yes. Smart. It's always good. It's always good to do that kind of stuff for sure. All right, very cool. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about your writing process. We touched on this way back the first time I had you on, but I always think it's interesting to see if anything has changed since you've written more and done more projects. But before we do that, I do a question of the day every day, and I like to ask my guest what their answer would be. And chat, you may also shout out what you would answer. So today, which is fitting because of your novella and
yes.
because of you being a horror author. So my question of the day said, if you were a demon in a fantasy world and you needed to possess a host, find a host to possess, what kind of fantasy race, being, whatever, would you choose to possess and have be your host? Would it be a elf, a dwarf, an orc, or something else entirely? I just picked those three because they're like the three everybody knows, but it could be anything if you don't want to pick one of those three. What would you go for?
You know, it's funny because I saw this earlier and I was thinking about what my answer would be. And I came up with like 5 and then never settled on anything.
Well, let's hear them.
I mean, I would have to think that like being it doesn't matter really like what race, but being like a wizard or a sorcerer would be the best
Yeah.
because I feel like you could tap into those powers and then just kind of do whatever you wanted. I guess I think of possession as like, you know, ill will, but I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be. You could go change the world for good with your new sorcery. So
That's true. I like that one. I like that. I didn't think about that. That would be pretty good. Adam had a good answer. He said, I'd possess another demon. They'd never see it coming. That's good stuff. Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Thanks for being here. And Tom Orange is here. Tom, this is actually, it's probably my lighting. This is actually red. But yes, it is.
You should have went with it.
I know. I should have just let him think it was orange the whole time. But Tom, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Ooh, here we go. Possessed magic elf. Just mix them up. There you go.
There you go.
That's a good answer. I like that. All right. So yes, it is the lighting. That's blame StreamYard because I have a nice camera, but they dumb it down. All right. So writing process. So the first time we talked, I asked if you on the spectrum of pantser versus plotter where you were, and you were more towards the pantser. Do you feel like you're still in that area, or has it changed slightly with the other projects you've worked on?
Yeah, I still have no idea what I'm doing when I sit down to write. Like, I mean, okay, so oh, Blake's not in here, right? Okay, cool.
No, he's not. He's probably gonna
watch. You know, we have this whole argument. There's really, I guess, no writer. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't think any writer sits down with 0 ideas and just starts writing. So yes, I think about things in my head a lot, like while I'm driving and while I'm working, and I'll play scenes over in my head, and then I'll like watch a movie and I'll be like, ooh, I could kind of take that vibe and do this. So I plot in that way. But with most of my stories, other than what comes before, most of my stories, I start with characters and I have an idea of where I want them to end up, but I have no idea how they're going to get there. And I have no idea like what kind of relationship they're going to form along the way. Sometimes new characters pop up that I didn't expect. And I love that because it's so fun. And it makes it difficult because sometimes it creates maybe not plot holes, but inconsistencies. And I have to like go back and, reread the thing that I just created on the spot that I had no idea was going to happen 3 seconds ago and be like, wait, what did I just have them do? But I like that because it allows for so much freedom, and the creative mind will kind of surprise you, I think, when you just let it go.
Let it go. I like it.
Yeah, Frozen.
Like it. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Now that you've written 3 different books, novella, but it's still a book, just a short book. Have you had any characters or events or anything change drastically from what you thought the story was going to go because a character just needed more page time or less, or a bigger story, or or an event just all of a sudden you thought was going to be a big event was like, I don't really like it, and changed it. Like, so I feel like if you're more on the pantser side, you have more freedom to change that, where you're not like, oh, but no, I outlined this. It has to go this way. But have you had anything like that happen?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I would say the biggest thing was, all I will say is that the ending for Without a Whisper was going to be how Dark Bloom ended. I was pretty set on that from the beginning, but then I don't know, just one of those driving to work moments, and I was like, "Ooh, I could actually do this," and so I changed it. And what's funny is when I published Dark Bloom, I was like, "I'm not gonna write a sequel." Like, some people are like, "Oh, you left it kind of open. You could do more." I was like, "No, I'm not writing more. Like, that's all I had to say." And then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, "Ooh, but I could do this and that." Um, in both of Dark Bloom and Without a Whisper, there have been one chapter in each that my editor was like, "No way. This doesn't work. You like, I mean, obviously I don't have to do anything, but he's like, I highly recommend you change this." In Dark Bloom, it was a situation that was, I think I crafted it to be a little too convenient for what I needed. And in Without a Whisper, it was very not within, my editor knows my characters almost as well as I do. And so when he was reading it, he came to this chapter and he was like, I don't think, I feel this just feels wrong. It doesn't vibe with how your characters are. Um, so I did have to change that up. Luckily, it didn't change how things ended, so I didn't have to, shift too many things. Um, but yeah, plenty of things happen where the character I'm writing now is actually in Without a Whisper, and I initially just wrote her in to be like a filler, like a means of an event, and then she ended up kind of stealing the stage, and I really loved writing her, and I loved writing her so much that now I'm writing another story where she's the main character. So
Nice. That's pretty cool. That it became that big of a character for you, and you didn't even see it coming. Pretty
it's
fun.
always fun when the characters speak to you and they're like,
Yeah.
no, that's like, I'm actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Well done. Well done. I feel like that is the fun way to write too, because then if you plot and outline everything so much that you know exactly what's going to happen, you're just like transferring it over to the page. Whereas if you're a little more on the pantser side, you're almost experiencing the story for the first time yourself too,
oh
which I
yeah.
feel like makes writing more fun, I would think.
Yes.
Yes, I agree, Tom. That is pretty cool. Um, there you go. Yep. Okay, this one stop telling you what to do. You got to talk to him a little bit there, my friend. You got to
No,
tell him what's up.
just let him free.
Just
It's
let
so
him
funny.
free.
The story I'm writing now was actually gonna, like, I don't know if any other authors have this, but you kind of get a feel before you even start writing. For me, I kind of get a feel of how long something's gonna be. Like, I knew What Comes Before was gonna be a very short novella, and before I started the story I'm writing now, I was like, this is gonna be just a side novella, like in Dark Bloom's world, not related to Nick and Kate. Um, but my characters won't stop arguing and bonding at the same time, and it's been a really fun process, and like they literally just are snarky and enduring the world together, and it's probably going to be a full-size novel at this point, so
Ooh, nice.
it's been pretty cool.
That is awesome. Very exciting. Okay. All right. Next question I usually ask is how your writing process in general. So when you're working on something, do you set like daily or weekly like word count goals or writing goals? I mean, you work full time, you have kids, you're busy. Or are you somebody that's just like, I want to get it done eventually. I'm going to try to write every day if I can, but if it doesn't work out, I'll write tomorrow. Like, where do you fall? Are you like, I need to write this much per day or week or month or whatever?
Yeah, I don't set anything like that for myself because I never know how my day is going to go. I get up at 5:30, put the kids on the bus, work out, go to work for 10 hours, come home, do dinner, get the kids ready for school the next day. If I end up with time to write, that's super cool. If I don't, then I don't. Sometimes I go weeks without writing. And then I think because I'm super into this story, I've been writing every day. I think I've written like 30,000 words just in the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm just, Molly's always low stress levels, low expectations, low commitments, because just life gets in the way so often. So
Yep. I think that's the secret to life. Stay chill. Keep things low stress if you can.
yes.
We got some people that popped in here. Nick Betts, another awesome indie author. What's up, man? And of course, we've got John A. Douglas, who came here to annoy Molly and chew bubblegum. And
Yes.
he's all out of gum.
I'm all out of gum.
Always
Oh,
so
man.
clever, that John. All right. And then the other part of that question, when you do write, do you have favorites? Like, do you have a favorite time of day you prefer to write? Do you have a favorite place you like to write? Is it at home or is it out and about somewhere? Do you have some favorites that you like to do whenever you write?
Yeah, I think it's just all about how I'm feeling. Sometimes when I sit down at my computer, it feels very committed. It feels like, okay, if I'm sitting at my computer, then nothing else is getting done. If the family's home, I don't like that because it feels like I'm kind of shutting myself off from them.
Yeah.
So sometimes if the girls are watching a movie, I'll set up with my laptop and sit on the couch and write. I prefer to write at night because the nighttime feels like nobody needs me for anything. The kids are in bed. Nobody's going to be up cleaning at 10 o'clock at night. So I don't need to worry about anything else. I can just sit and write. However, I do write a lot during the day because my girls are in school. So that's when I know I'll have time, is after, they go to school for the day. I definitely prefer nighttime writing though. So yeah, just at my computer chair, if I'm feeling like, yes, this is getting done. Sometimes at the couch on my laptop.
Yeah. Do you have one of those lap desk things if you're on the couch?
I do. Yes.
Those are essential, I feel like.
I got it because
get warm.
Yeah, I had surgery last year, and I knew I was going to have like 2 weeks. I was in the middle of editing Dark Bloom. Yeah, last year before August. Yeah, okay, sorry. My brain was like, wait, what are we talking about? What's funny is, like, I was like, yes, I'm gonna have the surgery, come home, and then just really hit these edits hard. What I didn't anticipate was being in so much pain that I was gonna have to be on pain meds a lot. And I swear I would sit there with my laptop open and stare at the same sentence for like 20 minutes, and then I would just be like, wait, what? So I'd say it was about a good week before I actually got any editing done, but it got done. But yeah, I couldn't sit at my computer chair. I could barely move the first, couple of days. So I had to get that lap desk and get my laptop set up.
Oh yeah, you got to be comfortable after something like that. Dylan had a good question. He wanted to know, when you're busy and you have ideas or things you want to jot down, do you use a note app or something else on your phone or something to write things down?
I have opened up my notes before and written a couple things. I think that the way my brain works is that when I come up with an idea, I then obsess over it in my head. I play the scenes out. I don't like to write in my head, if that makes sense. So as long as I get the gist, then I sit down with that vibe and then I let it come to me. But there was a time I was like doing laundry, and it's actually it's a scene in Without a Whisper, and it hit me, and I was like leaned up against the dryer, like typing out these notes furiously, and my computer's like, a couple like in the next room, but I'm just on my notepad like writing all these notes for the scene because I loved it so much and I didn't want to forget it. So yeah, I have done the notes thing, but yeah, my brain just, if once it gets hooked on something, it'll just play over in my head. So not gonna forget.
Steel trap.
Yes.
Nice. Ellen Holmes and all their awesome indie authors here. You're not late. Just show up whenever. It's no big deal. All right. So last question, and I already know the answer to this, but just so that other people know. Some authors like background noise, some don't. Some like music, some don't. But we all know you love music. So when you wrote the novella and when you wrote the sequel to Dark Bloom, do you still do like different playlists for each song or for a scene, or do you just kind of have writing music, a big playlist that you just kind of listen to?
It really just depends what I'm into at the moment. So Dark Bloom was just a lot of metal just blasting into my ears. I talked about how during that time my household was very loud. And I couldn't focus. And I also couldn't focus listening to metal really loud until I just conditioned my brain. I got to the point where I was tuning it out, which was pretty wild because it was very loud. Um, when I wrote What Comes Before, I actually started listening to a lot of like ambient, haunted, like, I would just literally type in haunted woods and it would come up with like, these sounds. One of them that ended up on my on repeat was singing whales, and it was just this eerie whale sound.
That is creepy, actually, sounding.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll throw on some classical, some Tchaikovsky, just I don't know why. There's really no rhyme or reason. I just, if I'm feeling like I can't commit to, regular music. Lately I totally have not been writing to the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack because I'm not obsessed with that
Yes.
at all.
No. None of us adults are with kids at all, at all.
No. Well, it's funny because, I'm writing from this 12-year-old perspective, and those songs are very lighthearted and they have great messages, but they also have this epic feel to it. So it
Mhm.
kind of fits right now, when I'm writing in this point of view. And
Oh yeah, we got some fans in here.
yes. There's also some fantastic metal covers of these songs. So I basically have like the original soundtrack and the
Oh,
metal covers. They're all in my on repeat right now. So it's like a feeling. Some of those songs, especially like the last song, what it sounds like. It's like the feels, man. They're
mhm.
intense, and I like want to capture that. I want to capture how it makes me feel and put it into the story. And
Yeah,
writing, what I'm writing now, I guess it's considered horror because it's got the zombies still, but like I don't even know what you consider it. It's just this journey of this 12-year-old trying to survive the world. So
it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty epic.
I hope so.
I'm excited about that one. Tom, I would be concerned as a man without children if you did know what K-pop Demon Hunt, but you should still watch it. It's actually
You
really good.
should. It's so
It's
good.
very good. The music is awesome, but the movie actually is really good.
Hmm.
Anyone would enjoy it. It's really good. Um, let's see. I didn't ask you this one last time, but I have started to ask this a little bit because I'm just curious. Nowadays with Google, you can Google anything, but some people still like to like find people for research. So when you research things, do you just Google it, or do you have people in your real life that you're like, oh, they actually would know something about this, I'm going to talk to them? Or do you ever get like an actual book of like lore or history or something that you look at? And with horror, I haven't asked a horror author this before, but has there been anything besides just Googling that you've done research with?
Yes. So, I work in pharmacy. And so Dark Bloom works with a disease that I have taken a lot of artistic liberty with. But there have been moments where I've asked my pharmacist, like, so I have a pharmacist in particular that I'm partnered with. We work the same shifts. So he's gotten so many unhinged questions. My favorite was probably my favorite. He was used to it by now, so he wasn't totally taken off guard. But I was like, hey, if you were keeping a woman in your basement and you had to sedate her, what drug would you use? And so we went into this whole clinical pharmacology
Oh
thing
man.
about different, and he was like, I'd probably use, and I love it because he just without a beat, he's like, I'd probably use this one. And so we'll get more of that into the sequel. Not a whole lot, but definitely the prologue. Um
Mhm.
so I've asked, but also some questions like, I didn't want him to try to break down prion protein diseases for me because that's a
Right.
lot. I
Yeah.
did watch like a whole YouTube video, which it's for me to watch a YouTube video about something so
Oh
outside of
yeah.
my realm. That's a big
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
Another thing I asked was my editor wanted me to think about the use of electricity in Dark Bloom. And that was a tricky area because we weren't too far outside of when things went down. I would say Dark Bloom, I always had in my head that it was about 9 to 10 months after, like, 0 day, if you will.
Right.
So sometimes Nick and Kate would come across a place that had power, and sometimes they wouldn't. And so I had a buddy that worked on power lines. And so I brought that to him. I was like, hey, what's the likelihood that this, how unrealistic is this? And he was like, well, if it's in the city, the power lines run underground. If, it could possibly still be up. So I was like, okay, cool. Other than that, I think that mostly I just Google things. Somebody in my story currently knows a martial art that I have no idea about, and I'm going to try to find some podcasts to listen to on my way to work so that I can better familiarize myself. I've learned a bit about it so far, but it is kind of obscure, and I want to write this as authentic as I can. So,
Oh yeah. That's why I always like to ask. That's very interesting. I didn't even think about, like, I would want to know about the power stuff. And the other thing too, we had some funny comments here about that. JA made a good point. Better to ask a coworker than to Google that and risk being put on the FBI watch list.
I'm probably already there.
Joe said, without a beat, not even a little beat. I hope other people are around during this.
Yes. And, my pharmacist is great because, I mean, like, he reads a lot of nonfiction and, medical journals and medical articles. But he listens to me just go on and on and on about my book. And so obviously he's well aware that I'm writing a book. I write fiction. So when I asked him this, he was like, this is probably another book question. Hopefully.
Oh yeah. Right. Real quick. Thank you, Cinna, Librarian Legs, for the super chat. You are too kind, my friend. Too kind. We appreciate you. And then everybody wants to know now about this martial art.
Silat.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's an Indonesian martial art that uses well, I imagine you could do it unarmed, but I'm focusing on like more the weapons portion of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know anything, so just like don't judge me. I'm getting there. I've written out a couple scenes that I'm going to go back and fine tune once I build my knowledge up, but I just haven't. That's why I'm going to do a podcast because I feel like that's the best way for me to tune in while I'm driving to work. Because when I'm at home, it's not going to happen.
No, you're watching K-pop.
Yeah.
Shh. Before your kids get home, and then your kids get home. Oh man, here we go. Steve Perry's written a ton of sci-fi with stuff based on.
Ooh, okay.
You might have to look that up.
Yes,
could be a good source. Very cool. All right, so before we switch gears and I ask you some personal, very superficial questions to get to know you outside of writing for everybody. But before we do that, we're going to play a game. But before we do that, can you talk a little bit about Dark Veil Society?
Yes.
Pretty awesome group that you started since we last talked.
Yes. So the Dark Veil Society, me and Eamon Bradley started that in about January, I believe. Essentially it started out like he was just like, hey, do you want to make a group of horror authors and hang out together in Discord? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. But it's grown. I think, oh gosh, I'm gonna get the number wrong because we've recently added a couple people, 17 or 18 people in our group. It's really cool because we keep it small, and this, I mean, it sounds bad, but it's not like an open invitation because we've gotten really close, and we can talk about things in there that of sharing like early versions of covers and sharing pieces of snippets of writing, and there's always somebody there to like answer a grammar question, or hey, can you share this post, or hey, we don't like require reading of each other's work because reading's supposed to be fun. We're mostly just there to hype, to support, to, when somebody needs the imposter syndrome kicked out of them, we're there to do that. It's been really cool just having a group of authors at your fingertips for me as well, because we have collectively so many different experiences that we can call upon when we have questions. We have we have ideas for things in the future, and I haven't had anything to drink, so I won't divulge any secrets, unlike my partner. Um,
Yeah, I should have thought of more things to ask him. He would have told me anything.
he would have. But we're working on bigger things, but it's it's slow as we build, and we're working on our own projects. But ultimately, we have some amazing authors. If you're looking for indie horror, you can go to Dark Veil Society and find pretty much any kind of horror you're looking for. Paranormal, zombies. My brain shut off after that. But sci-fi, horror, anything. It's a lot of fun.
Do you guys have some kind of crazy ceremony when new members join? We all like to think so.
We subject them to the Sean sandwich.
Oh man, that is something. Oh man, good times. I'm still recovering. All right, are you ready to play a little game?
I'm ready.
All right, so I don't have those cards anymore. So
Why?
I used them all up. So I still do 1 minute mysteries, but it's this one I found online, and they're a little more direct, but nobody has had a super easy time with them yet. So we'll see if you get this. So chat, feel free to shout out any answers to help Molly out. But here we go. All right. So I'm gonna do this one. I almost did one about a cabin just because of of your novella, but I don't like that one. It's really dumb. Okay. So we're gonna do a different one. All right. So here we go. There is a man walking down the road dressed entirely in black. There are no lights on anywhere and no moon. A car with no lights on comes down the road and manages to avoid the man. How?
He's a shadow.
No, you don't think with your horror writer brain. All right, do you want me to read it again?
Yes.
Oh, speaking of Sean sandwich,
we've got half a sandwich.
All right, here we go. It says, there is a man walking down the road dressed entirely in black. There are no lights on anywhere and no moon out. A car with no lights comes down the road and manages to avoid the man. How is this possible?
The man was on the other side of the road?
He could have been, but that's not the answer.
This seems kind of vague.
I know. So
why is the car driving without lights on?
That's one hint to tell you. The car doesn't have lights on. Think about why it might not have lights on.
Oh, because the car's not being driven.
Well, it is driving.
Oh, okay, Dad said that. Because
there's the JA has an idea. I don't know if you want to go with it.
Oh, is it daytime?
What do you think? You want to go with that?
Now I'm angry. Yeah.
It is daytime.
You set the stage. I was like, okay, we're at the dark of night, and this
man's
wearing all black.
They're tricky sometimes. Still, that it took me a minute to figure that one out myself. But so let me tell you the cabin one. I almost did, but I'm like,
okay.
This one I don't know. It's weird. Okay, it says you're in a cabin with 4 walls, all facing the south. There's a bear outside. What color is the bear? You see, this one's kind of dumb. If everything's facing south, what direction would this cabin be?
How it said all 4 walls are facing south?
Yes, everything's facing south. Basically, it's facing south, so that it would be in the north.
Right.
So then, what color?
It's a polar bear.
Yeah. See, I'm like that one's kind of dumb. So I didn't like that one, but
yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
I got it faster than the other one.
You did. Oh, man. All right. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes.
All right. First question is, what is your favorite color?
Black.
Nice. Nice. Not surprised. Has it always been black?
Yes.
Okay.
Except for like maybe when I was in like middle school, it was lime green for a while. But
Ooh, okay. I like lime green. All right. What is your favorite food? If you got to pick what you guys are having for dinner, and it can be anything, what are you picking?
sushi.
Nice. I was gonna say, I think it's sushi.
Yes.
Nice, nice. What's your favorite sushi? Like California roll, shrimp, crab. What's your favorite thing to have in the sushi?
I like the shrimp tempura and I like California
Yeah,
roll. I like anything with cream cheese and avocado and shrimp. It's all the
same.
smoked salmon.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's good.
delicious.
It's good. Now, do you go to like a actual seafood shrimp place or sushi place, or do you just get like sushi from anywhere?
We have a place nearby and like our thing, it's I don't know, we don't eat out like very often at all, so it's kind of our like once a month or every so often treat that we'll do because it's not cheap. So we'll
Oh,
get like
sushi's so
I
expensive.
know, we'll get like way too much sushi, bring it home, eat it for the night, usually eat
Yeah.
it again for lunch the next day. And so yeah, there's a place nearby where we just order takeout and bring it home.
Nice. Do your kids eat it too?
Yes, we usually also get them like some soup or some, fried shrimp or
Mhm.
something. They'll pick at some of the, you know how kids are. They like open it and
Oh,
take out the cream cheese and,
yeah.
do their weird little thing with it.
Oh yeah. They always got to tear things apart, rip it into
Yes.
pieces. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, just eat it. Come on. Oh, Tom, that's what I'm talking about. Tom is nearby me. He says he's
Oh,
got sushi
cool.
places. I like the sound of that, Tom. I used to just get sushi from like Chinese buffet places or like from the grocery store, and I liked it. But then I went to a real sushi place, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. It's so good. But it is so expensive. I used to take I had a kid that I mentored, and then he got to be a young adult, but I still would take him out every once in a while, and I would buy him dinner, and he loved sushi, and I'd ask him where he want to go, and I'd hope he'd say like burgers or something. He's like, oh, can we go to the sushi place? And I'm like, oh, because then I let him get whatever he wants, and it's so expensive.
Yes,
But
that's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
man, you're getting older. You're like in your mid-20s. It's time for you to start buying me some sushi.
Right?
Oh man. Well, there you go. Sean says key to being a horror author is having a
Mhm.
sushi place nearby. We're learning
Yes.
so much. All right. Next question. What was your first job that you got a paycheck for, or like, got steady pay or paid under the table? Whatever, or both, whichever you want to share with us.
I worked a job after school for a very short time. It was like calling people to see if they wanted to
Oh
donate to like the local fire
gosh.
station.
Were
Um
people nice, or did you ever get yelled at?
I don't remember. My best friend had the job and I was like, "Yeah, I want to come hang out with you after school after we just hung out in school together all day."
Yeah, of course.
So we did that for a while. I don't remember. I think mostly it was just people not answering. And then after that, I was a lifeguard for a while. So then I went to college and did real adult things, and it's all been downhill since. No, I'm kidding.
Dolphin down Irishman. Oh man. Uh-oh. I hope it's not stalling out for everybody. Sorry about that, Senna. Hopefully
Aw.
your internet improves. Uh let's see. Next question. Along those same lines, think back to that time. What was your first ride, your first car? What was the Molly Mobile?
It was an Eagle Talon. They
Ooh,
don't
okay.
even make
I
them
remember the
anymore.
Eagle Talons. Oh
Yes.
man. What color was it?
Black.
Black. Do you remember what year it was?
Oh, man.
Or roughly?
I don't remember what year. I just know my stepdad had bought it because it was super cool. It had a turbo in it.
Oh
But,
man.
like it happens when people buy cars that are cool, he never drove it. So when I turned old enough to drive, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to give, a 16-year-old an Eagle Talon with a turbo in it.
Mhm, mhm.
But I took that car over and definitely wrecked it.
Alright,
Um
was it more of the rounded, body style?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah, so it was the one of the
I
really sharp
I
looking
was
one.
I was gonna say it was like a 96, but I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
was
if
gonna
like
say
I didn't
that.
know where I was pulling that
Yeah,
information from. So
you're pretty close. That was a 95. So yeah, you probably. I always thought those cars were pretty cool. So yeah,
it was
I bet
cool.
that was
It,
fun to drive.
it
Probably
was
not very
way too
safe.
fast. No.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little dangerous for a new driver when it's a little too fun. But hey, you made it. See other
Yes.
people. Senna remembers the Talon. And Tom says he was also a lifeguard. There you go.
Nice.
All right. Now this one might be hard because it has to be something different than the last time. But if so, we know that you're good at authoring and writing books. Um, yeah, you are. I have proof because I've read 2 of your things so far. Um, but what's a talent or a hobby that you have that we or other people might not know about yet?
I like to sing. I'm not gonna sing
Yeah.
on stream.
Well,
Um,
we're working on something though. We're
yes,
gonna do a little short.
yes, we
Oh yeah,
are.
so keep an eye out for
Um,
that.
I was in chorus for a while, and I just always liked to sing. I think I have a decent voice. Like it's not like your eardrums won't crumble, so that's always good.
We'll survive if we hear you sing.
Maybe.
Oh no, did SS Fitzgerald know this before now? Because he
I don't know.
may keep asking you to sing now.
Request for golden. It's funny because
Yes.
when I'm like cleaning around my house, I try. So I'm an alto, naturally. I try to hit that high note in golden. I've been practicing, so we'll see. I don't think I'll do anything with it, but like sometimes my kids will come home and be like, "Look, I can hit the high note," and like they're like, "Good job, mom."
Way to go. Yeah, you can.
Please don't do it anymore.
I'm sure it's good. The kids don't know. They don't know. Oh man. Mike Molden's here. What's up, Mike?
Hi,
Thanks for being
Mike.
here, man. Yes, they do get high. That's true. That is true. It's
Very
hard.
diverse
hard to,
range in that group, and it's phenomenal.
ooh, I like this. Here we go. JA's onto something. I gotta start having a karaoke segment as part of every live chat. So we'll
Yes.
see. Uh, oh yeah, do you want to tell people real quick
Yes.
so I don't forget to remind you to say it? What's going
Yes.
on this weekend?
So Saturday, Stafford Book Fest. I did not get accepted to get a table for the day, which I'm honestly okay with because I've never done this before. But I will be at a table. They're doing this thing where they're swapping out a certain number of authors per hour. So I'll be like set up at a table with like a couple other authors. I'll have an hour there, which is super cool. So come see me if you're going to be there. My time slot is 10:45 to 11:45. But if you can't make that, or if you don't want to see me, that's fine. But Mike has a table there all day, so go see Mike and buy lots of books.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be awesome. Um, let's see. Everyone's talking about singing now. I know what I must do from now on. And if anybody wants to hear Jay Bryden sing, check out his YouTube channel. He's actually a pretty good singer and he can play the guitar. So
Ooh.
check it out. He's good. I was impressed. Uh yeah, if you go to just look him up, you'll find him. But if you go to my chat with him, I linked both his channels in there, so check him out. All right, so let's see. What now? I know you're a big gamer. Are you all right? You can make it.
Yeah, I was trying to fix my hair, but I can't do the mirror thing, so I ended up just
I
I don't
know,
know.
isn't it? I still can't figure that out. I always go the
Like
wrong way.
which way?
Where's my head? Oh man. All right. So I know you're a gamer. Are you still finding time for gaming, even in this busy season?
Here and there. I actually completed a whole game. I think it was kind of
Nice.
short.
Okay.
Mark recommended Infliction. I always want to say Infection. Infliction, it's a single player scary game.
Oh
It
yeah.
was very fun. I think it's probably I think it took me 4 hours to beat it. So but of course that for me is like four different sitting, like sitting down and playing. I think I only peed my pants twice and only screamed 5 times. So, no, I was
Pretty
like, I
good.
would be sitting there, my husband, his computer is on the other side of me.
Yeah.
And like, it's not like I'm not up at night by myself. I keep it dark in here, but like the kids are playing and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, oh, but I love that feeling. But I would have to take breaks. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna go do something else because I can't anymore. So I think Infliction's really the only thing. We played a little bit of Scum. So Scum game, if you know me, that's my favorite game in the whole world. I've been playing since like 2020. So like when it was early beta, and they recently released it like 1.0 Scum game, and we played a little bit, but Scum is so hard to. It's not the game you sit and play for like an hour by yourself.
Right.
It's like you gotta have a server to play in and a squad,
Hmm.
and you like it takes an hour just to like get a little bit on the map, and you die to zombies 5 times trying to get somewhere. So it's a lot of fun if you have a lot of time, and it goes on when you're not playing. So if you build something, it's going to
Right.
deteriorate, things like that, so you have to keep up with it. It's super fun. I love it. We got into it a little bit when it released, but just haven't had a lot of time for it as of late.
Oh man, that's how life
I
goes.
know. I miss
If
Baldur's
only.
Gate. I miss Fallout.
I know. I've missed them too. I have them and I haven't played them. It's just life. This is
Hmm.
a game I always wanted to play that Ellen's talking about. Have you ever heard of Sinking City?
I
A
haven't.
very like Lovecraftian horror game where you're like
Okay.
this detective and there's all this crazy stuff going on in this seaside town.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah, Ellen, that's a cool game. I never played it, but I always wanted to. Ooh, Silk Song. There you go.
I've
I
heard
didn't play
so
that.
much about this, but no, honestly, I haven't probably played a video game in like 2 months. That's probably giving myself some credit. I think, if I get time to sit down at my computer, I'm writing or
Yep.
marketing or editing or,
Right.
doing something book related, which is fine. I love
Mhm.
that. Um, and right now I'm just having so much fun with writing that I don't feel a loss, but there'll come a time soon when I get to a point where I'm like, I just need to veg out for a night. I don't want
Yeah.
to have to create. I just want to
Yep.
explore world.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla was what I played a lot of
Yeah,
during
you did.
writing Dark Bloom.
Yeah.
And that game, I miss that game too, because that was just, it was like, it was challenging enough to be challenging, but it wasn't like, I'm going to get tired of a game if I can't beat something and I'm just going to
Right.
give up.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
was just so fun. You could do so many different things. And that was like my relaxing violent time.
Mhm.
It's just going around raiding villages. And so yeah, I'll have to. I've been seeing so much about Silk Song, so I'll have to
Mhm.
try it out.
Me too. Did you ever beat Valhalla?
No,
Yeah,
there's
it's such a
so
huge
much.
game.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I love that.
That's
I can't remember what percentage I was at. I think maybe like 40%, and that's probably
that's
just
pretty
one
good.
storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
because
pretty far.
sometimes some nights I would get on and be like, "What do I want to do today?" And sometimes it was just like running around the map finding artifacts. So it wasn't
Oh
even,
yeah.
no
It gives you
quest
too many
completed.
fun things to do that don't
Yes,
progress the story at
yes.
all. Yeah, I know. I don't think I've ever actually beaten a Assassin's Creed game because they're all kind of like that. Maybe like way back the first one was a little more linear, but they're just all so big. It's true. It's true. Nathaniel's here. What's up, man? Uh, awesome YouTuber. Just went away and started college, so congrats on that, my friend.
Nice.
Um, and Red Dead Redemption. Did you ever play those games?
I didn't. I remember when it came out, and my husband was playing it on Xbox, and I remember
Mhm.
it was like we would all sit around the TV and watch him play, and
Oh yeah.
um, oh, I no, you know what? We did the like multiplayer thing. Um, I don't even know. My husband was just like, "Here,
Online
jump
one?
in with us."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
get in and we would just create
Pretty cool.
chaos, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Go
yes,
rob a bank or
technically,
something. Yeah. Rob a
yes,
train. Yeah.
I've played the mechanics of that, but I haven't played through the storyline. I've heard the storyline's incredible, but
Oh yeah. Me too.
honestly, I would prefer to play a game where I can get in, do a couple rounds of something and get
Mm-hmm.
out,
Yeah.
because to
Yep.
sit there and like read the story, or Infliction, I got through the storyline to that was pretty cool. It
Yeah.
starts out where you kill your wife and then you have to figure out like your
Yeah.
every time the level restarts, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's in the past. You keep going back in
Yeah.
time and you're collecting pieces of this whole story. And the storyline was pretty in depth without being like intense
Right.
long cut
Yeah.
scenes of
Mhm.
like you can sit back in your chair and like watch for a while.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But yeah, anything with a huge storyline, I don't have time for.
Yeah. That game is cool. I didn't actually play it, but there's this YouTuber, his name's Hollow, that plays horror games, and I love to watch his videos because he always like screams and freaks out all the time. And I watched him play that game, and that was a wild game. So I'm impressed that you played that game and beat it all by yourself. I'd have been scared. Oh man. Yes, Black Flag. That's a really good Assassin's Creed. That's the pirate one. That
I
one's
have
pretty
not
good.
played that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I never beat it. Like I said, they're too big. They take too long, but that one is really good. All right, next up, let's see what TV shows, movies. I know you've been watching K-pop Demon Hunters, but besides that, what have you been watching when you have time?
So my older daughter and I have been watching Squid Game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's what's funny. She's seen all of it. So she's taken me through it, except she's about to be 12 and she's like, "Oh, this character, you're going to hate this character. Oh, this character,
So
she
she's ruining
dies
it
a
for you.
really sad death." Then it'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, like a character that we hate will come on screen and then a game will start and she'll be like, "You're going to love this game." And I'm like, "Okay." So I know like some spoilers, but honestly the show is so wild and fantastic. I had tried it a couple years ago and I don't know, the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
I just was not it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody's crazy about this. But
Right.
she watched it. She's like, no, no, trust me, sit down and watch this with me. I was like, okay. And now she gets
Now
off
you're
the
out.
bus an hour before my youngest does. So I
Yeah.
wait there and I'm like, come on,
You
hurry,
gotta
let's
get
go
in.
watch. Yeah. I'm like, let's go watch the
Yeah.
show. And it's really, it does that thing to my brain where it's the human dynamic, like what would people do in this situation when they're faced with this kind of
Mm-hmm.
craziness. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's why I just get so sucked in. It's really good.
Oh yeah. I need to watch it still, but my son watched it and loved it, so I got to watch it too. But like I told you, you should watch. There's another Japanese TV show. It's called All of Us Are Dead. A zombie outbreak happens at a high school, and they're all trapped in the high school, and it's like scary, running wild zombies. That's pretty good.
I've heard good things about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll have to
really
check
good.
that out.
It's good. And my son was the same way during that because he had seen it all, and then he's like, "Oh, you're gonna hate that guy or that girl." Well, I'm not gonna tell you, but just so you know, I'm like, "You did
Yeah.
just tell me."
Right.
Or he'd be like,
She'll
"Oh,
be
this
like,
part's so bad coming up." Like, no,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. I know she's like, you remember how these guys are brothers? And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, what? I'm like, stop. No,
You
it's so
ruined
fun
it.
though.
Oh, it is. You can't beat it when you're a kid and you get to do something cool like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Did you ever play the BioShock games?
I did not. I
I
did
did not
not
either.
ever.
Those are ones you hear really good things about. And as
Mhm.
fantasy person, I should have played them, but I never did.
Shame on you.
I know. I know. All right. What about books? What was the last thing you read?
So last night I finished The Haunting of Sheila Lee by I don't know how to pronounce his first name. His last name is Whitedale. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But it was fantastic. It was not your typical paranormal story, which was kind of what I was expecting. So the turn it took was really cool. It was a really slow burn of events, but not like in a bad way. Like there's one big plot that you're trying to figure out the whole time, and he like sprinkles in all this psychological stuff in between. It was just really good. I was 400 pages and I finished it in like 2 weeks. So that's really, really
That is
incredible for
really
me.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that's
I was
good.
on it. And
Beware.
it doesn't always it doesn't always have to do with what I'm reading, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just life circumstances, and I just can get
You
through
have
a
more
book really
time.
quick.
Yeah.
Audiobooks. Let's see. I am in the middle of Dave Buzan's The Lair of Legends. I
Nice.
have like an hour left. It's really,
I've
really
heard
good.
it's really good, and he's such
I
a cool guy.
oh, he's
The nicest.
awesome.
Yeah.
My audiobook before that was a DNF.
Ooh.
I don't DNF books,
You
so
don't? I didn't
really
hear
don't.
about this. Is this an indie book or a
It's a
traditional
trad book.
Okay,
But
so
he
then you can
follows
tell us.
me on Instagram.
Oh,
So I didn't say anything
he might
about
be
it.
in the chat.
I know. It was no, well, so here's what happened. This book was free on Audible. You know how sometimes you can listen to books for free without spending a credit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I picked up this book and it ended on 9/2, September 2nd. And I was like, you know what? I'll just buy it for a credit if I'm really enjoying it and don't get to it by then.
Yeah.
Well, the second came around and I had 2 hours left and I was just not into it. I'll tell you what it was. It was The Ritual by Adam Neville.
Oh, okay.
So I loved the movie. I wouldn't say
Mhm.
the movie was not like phenomenal, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
good. I enjoyed the movie. And spooky forest vibes. Come on.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, cool. And I enjoyed the first half. The second half just kind of
Mhm.
just lost me. I also think that it had to do with the narrator, the audiobook narrator as well.
That does make a difference, yeah.
There were some of the characters were like Swedish, and he did
Mm.
a very heavy Swedish accent.
Oh boy. That's
So
a little much.
yeah. So I didn't even know what they were saying half the time. So I think, and it was a lot of talking, a lot of
Mm,
dialogue. So it just kind of lost me. And I was like,
yeah.
my time's up on this. And I didn't rate it or anything. I just didn't finish it. So
I've actually heard some mixed things on that. And like he's supposed to be kind of like Stephen King of the UK or overseas, right? I think. Am I wrong?
I don't know a lot about him. I know that like I saw him pop up on Instagram, so I followed him, and then like an hour later, it was like Adam Neville has followed you back, and I was like, what? What? But he
What's
seems to follow a
happening?
lot of people back, so I'm not trying to say
Okay.
that to make me sound special. He has like a pretty like close follower to following ratio.
Okay. Okay.
He's a metalhead, so I thought that was
Oh
cool,
yeah.
and I
Yep.
was
Yep.
like, yeah, I'm planning on reading one of his books, so I gave him a follow. I've heard a lot of great things about, and I've also heard like maybe try a different one of his. He's got a lot of books, so
Yeah. I've
I'm
heard.
not knocking him. He's
No. Yeah.
and
I,
the writing is really good. I
yeah.
like the way he writes. I just it just wasn't, it didn't grab me enough to spend my credit on it, and B, I think the narrator was just not it for me.
Yeah. Well, and audiobooks are expensive, so you got to be picky with those credits.
I know.
I hear you. I hear you. Just want to shout out to Tim real quick. Yes, Tim, the Yankees, his favorite team, are losing 11-2 by chance to the Detroit Tigers, who are my favorite team. Just thought I'd
Oh
point that
no.
out there, Tim, my friend. Okay. But yeah, no, you're right. I actually have heard that his books are really good, but that one, for whatever reason, maybe it's the movie, people like it, and then they don't like the book as much.
It could be.
Maybe it's the audio, but that's one that I do hear people like, but then they try other ones and they love them. So I guess we got to try a different one.
Yeah, I may do that.
It's good. All right. Well, I think that was all my personal questions. You survived.
I'll throw this out there too. And this is gonna sound bad because I don't remember the title. So what I started after I finished The Haunting of Sheila Lee is I'm now reading an arc for Adam Bassett. And this will actually be my third read of his, and I think that's my most read by an indie. So that's really cool.
There you go. Yeah.
I read both I listened to Animus Paradox and Digital Extremities, and they were fantastic. If you like cyberpunk sci-fi, like delivered to you in like short bursts, because they're both pretty quick listens. The characters are really great. The stories are really interesting because some of them are like wild and crazy, some of them are more slow and introspective.
Yeah.
So this story that I'm reading now, I'm not going to say like anything about it because I don't really know how much he wants out there right now. But I will say it has a much different vibe, and I'm really loving it. I'm like 15% in, and just from today, that's just from today, and I'm loving it. So, yeah, if you haven't read anything by Adam
Yeah,
Bassett,
check out his
definitely.
stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, his Digital Extremities is cool because a lot of those stories are like regular people living regular lives in a cyberpunk
Yes.
world, which is cool because normally cyberpunk you just think of the neon drenched city and the slums and modifications and action, but
Mhm.
like he looks at like, well, what would it be like for normal people, everyday people,
Right. And
which
it's
is really
cool.
cool.
He world builds by talking to you about a pretty average situation, but it's
Mhm.
so interesting
Yeah,
because of all of the, cyberpunk and
yeah,
sci-fi things that are going on. So
yeah.
it was
I
really
agree.
well done. If you listen to the audiobook, the narrator is super fantastic for both
Oh.
of those. He might have also narrated Dark Bloom. So
Oh, you have a good audio narrator. That's good to know. I read his on ebook. I'll have to listen to his audiobooks then. Because yeah, he did a great job with yours for sure. It
yes,
was
I've
awesome.
already oh my gosh, I think I emailed him like 6 months ago to get him like to put Without a Whisper in his, sphere. And also there is a voice effect that I need for it. And when I emailed him, I hadn't listened to Adam Bassett's yet. So I was like, I don't even know if this is something he'll do, but I reached out to him and asked. And then I listened to um Digital Extremities, I think, has some, but Animus Paradox, like, just some, like, how it sounds when you're talking through a comm system, and just
Mhm.
there were some
Yep.
effects in there, and I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, this is
That's
perfect
cool.
because I'm gonna be
Yeah,
coming at him with something similar." So, it was
that is
cool to
cool.
listen to that in advance, but I've got it
Okay.
in a sphere. Audiobooks are super expensive to make, so
Yeah.
that's gonna come out quite a bit later than
Yeah.
the book will, but it's definitely in the works.
Tim had a good question. Dark Bloom just has the one narrator, right?
Yes, because it's third person,
Yeah.
I just had Joe James narrate
Mhm.
all of it, and, I mean, he nailed it, so.
Yeah. He did a great job. Let's see. So, Ellen, just is curious about your experience making an audiobook. So, just like, was it a positive experience? Like, do you have any tips for indie authors who want to make an audiobook? Working with a narrator, that's a good point. Any little things you want to share about that?
Yeah, so I definitely went into it with no clue what I was doing. I just saw this little icon for ACX down at the bottom of my KDP dashboard in like, non-author terms. It's basically KDP is where I go to like set all my book stuff up. And ACX is Amazon, like basically Amazon's, this is where we produce audiobooks from. So I was like, "Oh, audiobook, that would be cool." I didn't even think about it. So I posted my little snippet of what I wanted read. I got, I think, like 30 auditions. Um, when I chose, so there's also different ways to pay narrators. You can pay them per finished hour. Or you can do, there's a royalty share. Basically, you guys just share royalties, which makes a really nice option, A, for narrators trying to get out into the world, B, for authors who making an audiobook is expensive. So my narrator, unfortunately, the one that I chose was not royalty share. He was $100 per finished hour at the time. Just saying that because I don't know what he is now.
Right.
But just for transparency, because some authors often think that it's like thousands of dollars to make an audiobook, which it's still expensive, but it's
Yes.
not. If you choose a certain narrator, it's
Right.
not like that. Working with him was great. He emailed me every step of the way. He gave me a time frame to start with because I think I hired him in like July, and he was like, "I'm gonna get to this in October." September came, and he was like, "I'm actually not going to be able to get to it until late October, early November." And I was like, "I'm just
Yeah.
chilling here, man. I didn't even know this
Hanging
was going to
out.
be a thing." So yeah, no problem. I just like the communication.
That's awesome.
Um, and I mean, I had, we messaged on ACX, but then it went to regular email because that was just easiest for both of us. Him and his wife are a production team, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Super confusing at first when he was saying us and we, but I got it. I got there. It was really great once he uploads the file, or they upload the file so that you can listen to him. I knocked it out in like 2 days, listening and reading along at the same time to make sure everything was perfect. I had a couple things, like a chapter got cut off. I emailed him, he fixed it super quick. ACX does this thing where they have to go through their quality control and check everything, make sure everything's good to go. They say it takes like, I think 10 days. Mine actually took 2 weeks. I hear a lot of authors like freaking out in that time period of like, they forgot about me, or like, so I would just say be patient with that aspect. Something I did that I wish I had more info on at the time was exclusive or non-exclusive. When I set everything up, I went with non-exclusive, which means it would not be exclusive to Audible. Because that's the box I checked in KDP. So I'm going to check that box here too. I didn't know what it meant. So I checked that box. I set everything up, and I was super excited for my Audible promo codes to give out to all my friends. Except they don't give you promo codes unless you're exclusive to Audible. Yeah. Oh. So I was like, oh my gosh, this stinks. Well, talking to another author, I learned that I could go through Findaway Voices, which I think they're transitioning to like just Spotify now. I don't know. They're doing a transition right now, but I put all my files on Findaway Voices, and they put it on Spotify, Apple. Wow. It's like 30 retailers yeah. And Spotify gave me 100 promo codes.
What? That's crazy. That's so cool.
So here's a little plug, since we're talking about it. If you want a Spotify promo code for Darkbloom, I still have a ton of them listed for free. But yeah, that's the one thing, the biggest thing I would say that I wish I would have known. Knowing that I could get it out there to all these different retailers and how easy that process was, I probably still would have chosen the same, but I was like frustrated with being surprised and not knowing what to do after that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tim's got the wheels turning. He's like, he's gonna have to look into this one. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty awesome. Trinity wanted to know which is better, royalty share up front. Like what did you, when you made the choice, what were the pros and cons? I mean, you chose him, so you had to kind of go with what he was, but
right. And honestly, I chose him because royalty share was in his list of options, or that helped me make my decision. And I was like, oh, cool, we'll just share royalties. And then he came back and he was like, yeah, it's $100 per finished hour. And I was like, alrighty then. Yeah, I wouldn't say that any option is better than the other than what's going to work best for you financially, really, is what it comes down to. If you don't have a couple hundred, well, I'll just put it out there. I paid about $700 for Darkbloom's audiobook. If you don't have that on hand, do royalty share. You can still find some amazing narrators. You help them get their voice out there. So it really just depends on what kind of situation you're in at the time.
Great answers and insight. Thanks for doing that, talking us through that. That's awesome.
Just me stumbling my way and giving you what I've learned.
You did good. You did good. Another awesome author, member of Dark Veil Society, Jose's here. Welcome. Hey, Jose. Thanks for being here, man. But Jose, I think we're coming to the end. But thanks for coming anyway. Make sure you watch that on replay, man. So, all right, it has been an hour and a half. As always, time just flies when I get to hang out with you. So thank you for coming on. It has been a blast. We'll wrap things up here in a minute. But before I do, I want to give you the floor. Shout out anything you want. Tell people where to find you. The floor is yours, my friend.
Awesome. So I'm on like all the socials, unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. I love it there. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok, Insta, Facebook, Threads. I have a website that I remember to update every once in a while, macabreMolly.com. But darkveilsociety.com is going to be where most of our updates are, where you can find some awesome books. My books are on Amazon. What comes before is available for pre-order right now. It comes out the 13th, so in a couple days. That one will be in print and ebook. and Dark Bloom is on Amazon. I forgot the name of it for a second. That's ebook, print, and audiobook. Also, Dark Bloom is and What Comes Before are both available signed at the Crafty Bookstore. That's an incredible indie bookstore I've been working with. Veteran owned. The owner is just the nicest person ever. So there's some really awesome books. Sean Fitzgerald, his books are there too. Just a lot of awesome books there. So if you like supporting indie bookstores, go check it out.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
It's all good things. All good things. Well, thank you everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome as always. Thank you to everybody watching on replay. We appreciate you. So we'll wrap it up here. Molly, thank you so much. I would love to have you on again anytime. You know that. The
tomorrow
offer is always all right. We'll do it tomorrow. I'm in every day. But anytime you need anything, you know that you have a place here. So you just let me know. But congrats on all Dark Bloom success, and I'm excited for what's to come in the pipeline. You got a lot of awesome things coming. So keep rocking it out, my friend.
Thank you, friends, for joining us tonight.
Yes. Have a great night, everybody. I will be back on Thursday, and I think, let me see. Thursday. Nope, never mind. I don't have it here. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry. I will be with AJ Calvin. This is their most recent book. So look forward to that.
Cool cover.
I know it is. I'll see you then. And until I do, as I always say, divide your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another. And Molly, finish it off for me. And be
beastly.
Yeah, there it is. All right, everybody. See ya.